Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. All right, let's talk about these legal fees, y'all. So, it has been a busy legal year so far, right? We got a lot of stuff going on in the legal front. You got Robert Kraft getting pinched down in Florida. You got the Jussie Smollett case. You got R. Kelly getting arrested. You got Paul Manafort and his stuff going on. You got Michael Cohen and his stuff going on. There's a lot of legal stuff that is going on that's just in the news, right? And so so if it's in the news, there are some high-powered attorneys that are involved in this stuff. And can you imagine how much these folks is getting paid? Okay. So then that leads one to ask, well, dang, is any of this stuff tax deductible? And the answer is a definite maybe not. So let's talk about it. All right. So if your legal fees are based on a business type of defense, so let's say someone happens to sue you for something. If it's something business related, then those legal fees can be deducted. Okay. But there was a suspension of the tax deduction if your case was, centered around sexual harassment and discrimination. So think about that before you go lose your mind. All right. But when we're talking about personal legal fees, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act took that provision out. So before January 1st, 2018, your legal fees, for the most part, there were some exceptions. Y'all, we ain't got time to go into that, and I am not an attorney, okay? There's all kinds of exceptions to the rules. But prior to 2017, you could deduct legal fees that was subject to the 2% floor, meaning legal fees that exceed 2% of your adjusted gross income were tax deductible. That provision has been taken out. So where you've got all these folks, if all of this stuff is personal legal fees, no, it is not a tax deduction anymore. So, they're going to be writing some fat checks for these folks, and you don't get to deduct a dime. Now, there is the question about, when people get awarded damages, right? Like you get, I think the most recent case that I saw was the Monsanto's case, where he was a groundskeeper that received, multi-million-dollar award. Well, then still he had to deal with attorneys. And so he's going to have to pay those attorneys, but he's not going to be able to deduct those legal fees if it was like for punitive damages. That's where punitive damages, that is taxable income. So if you get this multi-million-dollar award for punitive damages, you're going to have to pay taxes on the whole amount. Okay. If any of that goes to your attorneys, you're going to have to pay them. They're going to have to pay taxes on that income. Right? But you are going to have to pay taxes on the amount that you receive for punitive damages. Now, if you receive damages for like physical injury or illness, that is not taxable. You still got to pay the attorney fees, but it's not taxable to you. But something like punitive damages is taxable to you. You still got to pay attorney fees, and they got to pay taxes on that money too. So, so legal fees, no, it's, in general terms, not tax deductible anymore. So, and legal fees rack up quick, right? Because sometimes just a basic legal consult can be $500 to $1,000. Now you talking about hours and racking up hours and hours of attorney's fees. Do y'all remember that movie, with Tom Cruise back in the day? I don't know why I just thought about this movie, but it was a great movie with Gene Hackman, and they were like adding all of these little these little additional fees, like billable hours to their client bills and stuff. That was a great movie. You got to go back and watch it. But those billable hours do start to add up, and an attorney can be $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour, and you talking about these high profile type people. You can best believe that $1,000 an hour is not anything that's out of the ordinary. So you think about all the millions of dollars of attorney's fees that can be wrapped up in just in these little few cases alone, where nobody's going to get to write that off at all. All right. If you can. Now, one interesting thing I read though is with the Jussie Smollett case. Now, I was reading, I forgot who wrote the article, but they were saying that because he originally said that he did this to further his career, because he said that those legal fees actually could be tax deductible, like has a better shot of being tax deductible as a business expense than anything else. So I'm going to be watching that, and y'all know when I get the update, I'll be letting y'all know, right? Because that's just the tea to me. I have to know those kind of things. But by and large, legal fees are no longer tax deductible. And so, yeah, that's just a bullet that you have to bite when you are talking about, dealing with lawsuits or having to pay for attorneys for different types of like estate planning. You don't only need attorneys for, dealing with the legal system in a bad way, but you need attorneys for, things like trusts, estates. Sometimes you need you need an attorney to draft a will. So those type of administrative services are no longer tax deductible either. So yeah, that was one of those things. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of knew, but now to see the application of it, that can be kind of bad. Okay. So, yep, that's it for today, you guys. So it's a real quick one, but the legal fees, that's a big fat checks, but you can't write that off on your taxes no more. All right, you guys, I got to run. So thank you so much for tuning into Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we air Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can tune in right here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. If you have not scheduled your 15-minute complimentary consult, you can do so at www.homebiztaxchat.com. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.